he says, Fawn, to Fawn. Yeah, what's he talking about? I've just eliminated freeze. That's like danger to me. Well, freezing. That's just terrible. Well, it's the opposite. I freeze in face of the danger. The danger's coming at me. I'm dead. If I'm driving in the car and the danger's in front of me, I don't freeze. I turn off the road to avoid it. Bi-directional here. To F-A-W-N. Too fun. It's just too fun. Too fun.
The verb to fawn. So we have fight or flee. Those work. Those are healthy from my point of view.
Well,
yeah.
This is interesting. It's a little tricky. Yeah. Well, it is.
Trying to find a to fawn definition, yeah. Remember, the guy on the video said it, so he knows what he means by it.
All right. Well, I'm going to pick and choose because I get to. I do, because this is a difficult thing to define.
Aren't you glad I don't make decisions? And I don't believe in violence.
Ingratiating oneself in a subservient way.
I hope you can see how sophisticated all of this circumstance is with these people online.
The courtiers fawned over the king to gain his favor. Servile flattery. Servile flattery. That's France. That's France. Courtiers of France. Servile flattery. That's French. France. Yeah. Obsequious. Yes. Attention, exaggerated attention or flattery, often in a servile or obsequious manner. Exaggerated attention or flattery in a servile or obsequious manner. That's very France. Well, the one thing it absolutely is not is displaying fear. No! Not that. It has this weird reference in here. This is a weird reference. It's really weird. It's a reference that says a person is acting in a manner like a dog. A dog? Yeah, a dog. They could, to explain this one reference says, well, to think about what to fawn for a human person like me, to fawn means, let's think about a dog. All right, okay, well, here we are. And so as a dog, so I'm like a dog now. Yeah, so I'm going to...
Well, since we're talking about dog, let's don't forget the experiments by Dr. Pavlov. Dr. Pavlov? You don't know about Dr. Pavlov? They call it Pavlov's dog. Since let's talk about a dog. Well, Pavlov, Dr. Pavlov, and worked with dogs. Yeah, a dog. Yeah, Dr. Pavlov conditioned dogs so that at the ringing of a bell sound. Even the dog, although the dog wasn't hungry or thirsty or anything else, that the dog would automatically start salivating, frothing at the mouth, just calmly frothing out the mouth, just start slobbering by ringing a bell. Just a bell. Yeah, Pavlov's dog. Since they talked about dog, and since this other guy talked about fawn, and fawn's related to dog, well, I don't know. Isn't that great? What kind of experiment is that? Mr. Pavlov? I don't know where Pavlov is, or I'm not criticizing him. He did experimentations with the dog and ring a bell and the dog could start salivating. Well, he could ring a bell and the dog could start defecating, or ring a bell and the dog could start urinating, or ring a bell and the dog would turn vicious and ferocious all at once. Ring a bell and stop. Just ring a bell. You can train dogs to do the same thing by blowing a whistle that you can't hear and I can't hear, but the dog can hear. And you can train a dog to do those things by just a slight hand signal too. Yeah, you can. Well, you may not realize this. A dog's anatomy and biological functionings are so similar to that of humans that they give dogs human medications even. Yeah, for high blood pressure and, everything ailment you want to have a pill for. It works on dogs too. Their physiology and, I guess, mind, I don't know, works so similar to ours that, yeah. So maybe this isn't so far off. Mr. Fawn, maybe he has some real experience here. Maybe he just didn't think people would catch the word or know what it means, or maybe he wasn't thinking about it. Maybe he spoke out of turn. So I'm not too far off when I talk about pharmacologically here. Over time, break somebody's mind, get them trained, just a ring of a bell or whatever. And they just snap into it with conditioning in certain circumstances. Sure can. Well, this has been going on since, I don't know, the beginning of the Clinton administration anyway. I don't know how long it's been going on. I just know that Bill and Hillary and Barack and Michelle and Joe and Jill are a continuum. I just discovered that Bill Clinton started something in the Arctic called the Arctic Council or something, the Ottawa Declaration. Just a group to sit together and talk about the Arctic. And by the time it gets to Barack Obama, then President Obama, relying upon what Clinton had done with this conversation group, claims to have issued the first treaty. Yet non-UN, a treaty, a multilateral treaty, based upon the work that started in Clinton with this other conversation group. Yeah, imagine that. I guess Barack knew something about what Bill and Hillary did. Well, there's an example. That's a treaty. We know that you can't have a multilateral treaty. But he had to rely upon what Bill Clinton, I guess, did to have a history, a frontier. Yeah, looking back. Sort of like the Helsinki Accords from 1973. Yeah, those became a foundational piece for a lot of what's messed up today. Helsinki Accords. Non-UN. But it's an accord. Ottawa Declaration. Helsinki Accord. I don't know. It sounds so important, doesn't it? It's meaningless. Non-binding. But you can see how they become building blocks.
What are the outward manifestations of me when I to fawn? Well, it says, gonna wag my tail. I might whine or I might nuzzle to show attachment or seek approval. Wag my tail or whine or nuzzle. That's really fucked up, man.
Yeah, how strange does that sound based on what I just said about Pavlov's dog?
I'm not even going to get into all that. That's crazy. That's a lot to depack. That's a lot to unpack. Well, God, they're saying here that there's the to fawn has something to do with an Old English thing. Old English? To Fagin. F-A-E-A-E put together as one character, an A and E. To Fagin? They claim here that the word to Fagin means no, it's to fag. F-A-E-G. Fagin meaning glad. No, Fagin isn't an adjective. Adjective is not an adjective. I don't know what. F symbol. A with the E in one symbol. A first and E second in one symbol. Well, that's definitely Old English. And A. But it's interesting that this font on here has a font that's A with the E backwards. Yeah, it's a diphthong, A-E. A and E together like a diphthong. A-E-I-O-U. 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 Vowel sound. They don't have those vowel sounds in the language of Arabic. The language Arabic doesn't use those vowels. Language Chinese.
Well, there we go. Well, I'm right into language and all those kind of stuff. Vowel sounds and all that. Yeah. Open vowel, closed vowel. But anyway, well, just remember now that we had a women, black and white, being very aggressive and radical and ideological. We have Mr. White male who's there, talking about Fawn and the other things he said, atheism, all that stuff. Yeah, this is very complex, isn't it? But it's so complex, you see, that it means that it's not naturally occurring. It's not a phenomenon that just happened like random then. Because things that are that random and things, when it comes to humans and language and all this, well, then they're contrived and planned. Yeah. You can't be randomly complex. Truly random things don't come together in humans with our intellect like that and manifest as a complexity. No, that's really silly, isn't it?